What is your reaction to hearing the main argument for austerity has been seemingly debunked by two graduate students? I want to start with you, Andy.
Oh, well, they've been always making up the fact that our debt was out of control due to Americans' consumer spending when they're not accounting for the 2 wars that have been put on the credit card. No, I don't think the country is broke. Not by a long shot. I don't think we can trust the conservative economists and the economists especially that are provided by the federal government. So it's nice to see 2 outside sources evaluate this country's economic problems that we currently have.
Reen, what do you think?
I don't think this is... I wasn't surprised to hear this. I wasn't surprised to hear that the study itself was a sham. I was surprised that a college student was able to debunk the information, and I'm glad that he did. And I know from an interview that he did it sort of by accident. He just happened to pick this study because it was an assignment from one of his classes to pick a study and try to replicate the results. So he did, and he couldn't, and it was brilliant. And
almost serendipitous, right?
Well, yeah, and hopefully this will start to get people to realize that our debt as a country, as Daniel said, is basically an illusion. It doesn't actually exist. Our country isn't actually broke. It's a clever illusion that politicians are using to take over, to cut things that are important to us, but that are not important. That are not important to them, and to justify the expansion of, this controlling and constricting government that's, taking over our country right now.
All right, and Lucas, I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think? What is your reaction to hearing that the main argument for austerity here in America has to be debunked?
Yeah, well, I mean, not only here in America, a lot of what was done in Europe, they cited Reinhart and Rogoff's study at the IMF and the European Central Bank in prescribing austerity for these different European economies. So it has been one of the pillars of the austerity movement that started in 2010. I agree that I'm not surprised that this has been debunked, because basically there's been a lot of people, folks like Paul Krugman, writing about how this was not really, that the conclusions from this paper had problems. And I guess, what made this analysis of their study such a big deal was that this was the first time that they actually allowed someone to independently look at their work. And that's when the issue of the Excel spreadsheet, some very questionable omissions of different countries at different times to really kind of produce specific results, it looked like that's when a lot of this came to light, was this time around. So I'm not surprised. I think that this was always like we talked a little before about Ayn Rand and Milton Friedman, these academic ideas that serve the interests of what people who are wealthy or powerful already want to do will be elevated and given credibility simply because they achieved that goal. So, the reason that this was cited so much is because basically these policymakers wanted to do these things already. So this just provided something they could point to say, see, the academic world agrees with this as well.